All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, February 11th. We got 9 games on the NBA slate. We're going to jump into each and every game. We'll talk about the game. I'll give you what I'm thinking. I'll give you my lean, but my final plays, like I tell you guys, will be in the pinned comment. So if you guys do want to see what I'm actually going to be rolling with tonight, make sure to check out the pinned comment. Last night, coming off of a 2-1 final play night, the Minnesota Timberwolves and Memphis Grizzlies game, we had the under 235.5. It finished at 235. So we cashed, but we sweated that one out. We had the Thunder plus 3.5. That cashes. And our only loss of the night was Kings -3. But a 2-1 night, we cannot complain about profit, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well, and let's jump into the first game here. We got the Nets taking on the Sixers. Nets 1.5-point dogs at home. Total sitting at 224.5. Now, I saw this line, and I was like, I feel like it should be a little bit more in the Philly favor, I guess. Now, they are coming off the win last night against New York, but even still, this Brooklyn team, I was a little confused by the line. But then you look at Mikal Bridges questionable, Cam Johnson questionable here, Claxton upgraded to Pro Bowl, and then Joel Embiid is questionable. Now, he's questionable on a back-to-back night as well, so maybe Joel Embiid doesn't play. I feel like he probably will, but nonetheless, I do think that I'm going to stick with my gut instinct on this game. Plenty of research went into this, and it looks like it should be a pretty close game, but then I'm like, all that research is via a different Nets team, right? Like, this is a new look Nets team. So I'm going to stick with what I originally thought, that line looks a little bit too small, and I'm going to lean Sixers as long as Joel Embiid does get the go in this game, all right? And then in terms of a total, I don't hate the over in this one. I don't think this becomes a final play. It might. I'm still kind of teetering with it. But in terms of a total, I am going to lean the over 224 here. But I don't, 224.5, excuse me. I don't necessarily love it. Moving on, we got the Hornets taking on the Nuggets here. Hornets coming off of a loss last night at the Celtics. I was at the game. Hornets 8.5-point dogs at home. Total 238.5 here. Denver in their last 10 games here, playing decent. Not as well as we would have expected, but against the spread, actually pretty good. 6-4 in the last 10 against the spread here. Same in terms of their straight-up record. This Charlotte team, 3-7 against the spread in the last 10, and on a back-to-back here. Now, this is a large number. I'll give it that, but I do still think that Denver, obviously the better team here. Some injuries to note, though. Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, questionable here. Thomas Bryant, who they acquired, is also questionable, but I do still think that the Nuggets are the road, even though they're the road favorite, I do still think that they are the play here. So I'm going to lean Nuggets here, minus the 8.5 points. In terms of total, I am going to be looking at the under in that game. I don't totally trust that these two teams can kind of, or not these two teams, Denver can, but even still, they play at a very slow pace sometimes, especially against a bad team like this. I could see this one kind of going in that 228-ish range for a total, and that is a pretty good discrepancy when it comes to 238.5 is the total. So I'm going to lean the under in that one. Hopefully that made sense. Moving on, we got the Wizards taking on the Pacers. Wizards 5.5-point favorites here. Total 234. That's a high number, but these two teams have been absolutely scoring and not playing all that much defense as of late. And I would say the Pacers more on the lack thereof of defense side of things, and Washington more on the 120-plus scoring nights thus far. But these two teams, I could see this over easily cashing here. I think this game probably gets up into the top, into the 220 or 240s or so. So my lean is going to be the over in this game. I don't really like a side, if I'm being completely honest. I want to keep it transparent with you guys, like I always say. That 5.5 knot line scares me. Like, the Wizards are playing good basketball as of late, but 5.5 points is a decent chunk to give a Pacers team that, yes, they might not be winning games and they might not be playing that great, but they are keeping games close here. Close enough. Like, even a team like Miami, they kept it to 5 points, right? Sacramento, they actually won that game as a dog. So I'm probably sticking away from a spread here. I think that line scares me on both sides. It's too much to lay as Washington, but then like the Pacers, I wish it was like 6.5 or 7, you know what I mean? So unfortunately, I think I'm just going to lean the over in this game and probably punt away that spread. If you guys do have a play on that, let me know in the comments. I loved the comments yesterday when the Detroit and San Antonio, I was like, I don't have a play in that garbage game, and people posted the garbage can emoji in the comments that Detroit's a play. Something happened, right? It worked. All right, moving on, we got the Magic taking on the Heat here. Magic 1-point dogs at home. Total 214.5. It's a super low total, guys. Super low total. You know my gut reaction is like, hit the over, hit the over, hit the over. It's super, super low. But then when you look at these two teams, like they both have scored sub 100 plenty of times in their last 5 games. This Miami defense is very good. I do think barring any crazy new injuries, so Kyle Lowry is out, we know that, but barring any new crazy injuries, I think the Heat are scarily enough, the obvious play here. So I'm going to lean the Heat minus the 1 point. In terms of a total, I'm going to go over, but I feel like they're going to get me. I feel like this is like a gotcha game. So make sure to do your own research on this total. I'm leaning the over, but I don't know if that becomes a final play. It's so low that it's begging you to hit the over, which isn't always a good thing, we know. Atlanta taking on the Spurs here. Atlanta 13 and a half point favorites, total 240.5. Spurs are tanking, right? Like they could be violating rules based on what they're looking. They're trading. They look like they're just absolutely tanking here. Everyone on their team is pretty much questionable tonight. 13 and a half is a lot to lay as the Hawks, but I do still think that I lean Hawks here. It just doesn't seem smart to be betting the Spurs as of late. So I doubt this becomes a final play, but I do think that the Spurs are kind of just not trying to play basketball right now. So I'm fading them. I'm going to lean the Hawks. In terms of total 240.5, I'm going to lean the under because I don't think the Spurs are going to carry their own weight. All right, Knicks taking on the Jazz here. Knicks 5.5 point favorites. Total sitting at 229 right now. In their last 10 games here, the Knicks are 5-5 against the spread. Jazz also 5-5 against the spread. Knicks at home though in their last 5, 3-2 against the spread. Obviously playing the Sixers last night, losing that game by 9 points, 11 points or so. They were 7-point dogs. Philly covered. They did not look that great. But Utah now looking at Russell Westbrook possibly playing tonight. Jordan Clarkson is questionable. Damian Jones, Juan Toscano Anderson also questionable here coming off of their acquisition. And then we have Josh Hart also looking like he could get his run tonight. So a couple new guys in this game here. I think I'm still going to lean the Knicks minus 5.5 just because they are the home favorites here and I trust them to kick into the gear after an ass whooping last night. Now, does this become a final play? Probably not. And I use this verbiage a lot in the videos, right? This is the type of game that if you guys said in the comments, no, the Jazz is the play, Russell Westbrook's going to go off, this is the move, I don't think that I'd argue it. So I'm not all that confident in the Knicks here, but I do think at home, 5.5 points, win this game by 6. The Jazz have so much newness that they're gonna have to work out, right? Like some growing and teething pains and whatnot. So I'm gonna lean Knicks minus 5.5 points. In terms of a total, 229. I'm actually gonna look at the over in that game. I think we could see a little bit of an uptick of pace, especially if Russell Westbrook plays in this game, and a lot of sort of back and forth. So I'm gonna lean the over there. All right, Cavs taking on the Bulls. Excuse me. Cavs taking on the Bulls here. Cavs 4.5 point favorites. Total 219.5. Last time these two teams played was early January, and Cavs won 145 to 134. It was a very high scoring game. They also played, I think they were New Year's Eve, late December, 103 to 102 game here. The Cavs won this game as well. And then early October they played, and the Cavs also won. So do the Cavs go out there and win 4 games against these Bulls? That it's hard to beat a team twice, they say, right? That's the saying. It's hard to beat a team 4 times. So for whatever reason, literally that is the reason, I guess I should say, I'm going to lean Bulls here plus the points. Are the Cavs way better? Yes. But the Bulls have now seen the Cavs 3 times. This will be the 4th time. And I just can't imagine them getting beat 4 times by the same team. They have to learn something. So, that might be a stupid betting way to think about it, right? Not much analytics, not like the data and analytics. I'll say that to you guys. Data analytics would say the Cavs are by far the better team. They're covering more games. They are the play, right? But this is the 4th time they've met. Unless my numbers are wrong and notes are wrong, this is the 4th time they've met. I cannot see a Cavs team beating the Bulls 4 times. So, I'm going to take the points, but kind of crazy to think about it like that. Then in terms of total, we do have 219.5. I like the over in that as well. It is super low, but I think these two teams, at times, they look like, and they look and feel like two teams that are sort of grinded out games, will grind you down. These two teams don't play that much defense. I would say this, once the pace of a game, I'm thinking Cavs specific here, once the pace gets going, this Cavs team's like, all right, bet, let's go. We're going to score a bunch of points too. I think that's the type of game that we see tonight. Moving on, we have the Warriors taking on the Lakers here. Warriors 2-point favorites, total 238.5. These two teams played in October. Golden State won 123 to 109 there. Golden State in the last 10 games, 4-6 against spread. Same thing for the Lakers here. This Lakers team puzzles me, man. They were kind of climbing. Now in the last 6 games, 1-5 against the spread. LeBron is questionable here. He's probably going to play. Anthony Davis is probable. D'Angelo Russell probable. Malik Beasley probable. All the guys that they got, right? Jared Vanderbilt probable in this game for Golden State. Steph Curry's still out. Gary Payton is out. They did just acquire him back. So I'm going to lean the Lakers here. I know they have, like I just said, they're 1-5 in the last 6 games against the spread, but I do still think that they can cover this game. Only 2 points. This line opened up at 3.5. I wish we got that line, but as of right now, at the time early in the morning, it is 2 points. So I wish we got the 3.5, but I still think the Lakers actually have a good chance to probably win this game. So I'm gonna lean Lakers here. In terms of total, 238. That is a tough one. You can probably tell by my side. I don't really have a strong play. I guess I would lean over, but I would definitely do your own research on that if you want tail. The last game of the night, we have the Kings taking on the Mavericks. We lost this one last night, guys. That was one of our plays. Kings, what was it, -4.5, -3.5. They lose the game outright by 8 points. Is Kyrie Irving the answer? Probably, I don't know. Who knows, right? But in terms of injuries here, Luka is questionable, so obviously make sure you iron that one out before making a play on this game. But Dallas, they've covered 4 straight games. They're 3-1 straight up in their last 4, and 2 points isn't all that much for him to get, but I do still think, this is a Dallas team that has some, stuff to figure out. They've looked pretty good since the trades. I get that. But I think that, on a back-to-back where you play the exact same team again, things flip. So I'm going to go Kings yet again. They burned us last night. I'm going to go Kings minus the 2 points. In terms of a total, I am going to look at the under in this one. Again, yesterday was a 236 finish. They have this at 235.5. Go figure. I think that this one gets a little slower paced. The Kings kind of try and be more efficient. So I'm going to lean the under there. And that is all we have for you guys today. Hope you guys do enjoy the video. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hopefully you don't mind the makeshift setup, but yeah, we got this, guys. This is what we're dealing with. We are gonna iron things out pretty soon in a pretty stable recording location, which is pretty cool. But yeah, catch you guys in the next video. All right, peace out.